Welcome back to Oh My Lordi. It's 2025. 2025, I can't believe it. I'm sorry, guys. I was supposed to record an episode at the end of last year, and I made some excuses. I was sick, but that's not an excuse. I didn't get it done. But we're in 2025 now. We got the new company gear, the Grit Media Group, Give, Rise, Inspire, Thrive, sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts, all that good stuff. It's a little cold in Tennessee, so I actually stole this from my wife. I gave it to her and I took it back real quick. So as soon as she sees this on, I got to take it off. But we're comfy. I got the wall cleared out because we're painting. All right, we got the podcast sign. I haven't shown anyone yet, but we got the podcast sign. It's actually over here. It's going to be in the back. You guys are going to love it. We'll get romantic. It'll be all glow in the dark style. But it's 2025. It's time to get to work. I'm probably getting sick again, but we're not going to make any excuses this year. So as you know, this podcast is raw. It's pretty much unedited. I mean, we'll edit it, make it look a little nice, but we don't do anything fancy here. Oh My Lordi podcast. I want to talk about something that's been pretty heavy on my mind over the last couple of weeks. And again, I'll say it's 2025. Right, we're about 4 or 5 years into it now. Past COVID, and the business boom. Everyone was starting businesses, working from home, all this stuff. Now you're starting to see who's making it or who's going to make it. Come on, guys, business is tough. It's really tough, and it takes a lot to grow and scale. Don't get those two mixed up, by the way. Growing and scaling are two different things. Maybe we'll talk about in a different episode, but I want to talk about the basics, because I think a lot of us have forgotten, or we've gotten too comfortable, or there's just so many gurus out there. There's so many tools and things, right? AI's booming. There's so many things that we think are going to make our life easier. But I'm here to set the record straight. When you're trying to grow a business, when you're trying to scale a business, when you're trying to, add in marketing to your business to grow and scale, that means you now have to work harder. Please don't go and hire a marketing company, right? No matter what business you are, don't go hire a marketing company and think, oh, well, they'll take care of it. No, your job's harder now, right? You got to put in the work now. So I've recently created a guide that goes and digs deep into everything that you need to do at every single level of marketing to make it the best it can be, to maximize it, to make sure that you don't fail. And if you want that, give me a comment. Right, or reach out to me, you know where to find me, and I'll give it to you. But we're going to talk about it a little bit in this video, kind of outline it. I'm tired of the cycle of, businesses doing it incorrectly, or going too fast, or starting off in the wrong place. And I think marketing doesn't work, and then agencies get bad rep. They get a bad rep, and it's just like a never-ending cycle. Things are good, man, this month sucks. It's getting better. Oh, this is really good. Nah, this month sucks. And guys, there's ways to combat that. And if you put all the pieces together, if you put in the work, okay, if you follow the guide that I'll send you, you can't fail. Or if you do fail, because let's be honest, we all do fail, you're going to be able to get back up. You're going to be able to test. You're going to be able to refine. You're going to be able to keep pushing forward. And you're not going to have to worry about, these issues of cash flow that are just insane right now. The amount of conversations I have, and it's like, I don't have any cash. I'm running $1 million business, but I don't have any cash. Don't get me wrong, like, been there, done that, right? But there's things that you can do to withstand this. And a lot of times it's going back to basics. It's making sure you have a solid foundation. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of the foundational steps and the steps that you have to take as a business owner. Okay, let me say that again. The steps that you have to take as a business owner to make the marketing successful, or as successful as possible, and continue to grow and continue to scale. I'll say it again. Do not hire a marketing company and sit back and relax. Hire a marketing company. It's time to get to work. So I'm going to open up my guide here. We're going to run through it. We're going to run through it here. It's called Marketing Success for Business Owners, Unlocking Growth at Every Step. All right. So we start with the website. All right. You can go even further, foundational, and talk about logo and branding and all that stuff. I'm going to skip a little bit, all right, because I'm hoping that most people are at that part where they know their mission, they know their values, they have their logo, they've got their branding. If you don't, go do that, right? And then that'll kind of be able to that'll be your foundational step for your website, right? For your Google business profile and things like that. But let's just say, for example, right, you hire a company, you're going to get your website right, all right? You as the business owner, right? And looking back at like all the websites that we've done that the business owners are very active in, anytime we send examples, it's those that people are like, oh, I want mine to be like that. But they don't realize that there's been years of edits and refinements in the making of those. It should never be set it and forget it. Never. So when you do your website, how can you help? How can you focus in and make it the best it can be? Number one is, if you have that branding, right? If you have that vision, that mission, make sure that the company you're working with knows that, so that way they can portray it through your brand voice, right, into the content. But the images, the video, make sure you have team images, maybe team video, where you got, you're videoing around your business, whether it's out in the field or at a shop or location, whatever it is, and you actually show people, right? Because people buy from people. You show before and afters, you show process, you talk about the process, right? If you have a website that's just static, right, and people can't click and get a feel for who they're going to be working with and what you're going to be doing for them, then they have every right to go shop around, right? And let's be honest, it happens all the time. People are shopping around. It's because they don't know, or trust you enough. So if you can put these pieces into play on your website where they can start to know, like, and trust you, now you're getting people further down that funnel to that buying decision. So it's as simple as that. Make sure you have video and images that showcase, you, the team, the process, the final product or service that they get, whatever it might be. Make sure you have all of that. And don't just like do it once and then forget about it. Keep refining it, right? Keep adding more. All right. So that's going to keep your content fresh. I mean, I think I say, this is easy stuff, hopefully to most, but if not, make sure it's, you can easily navigate it. Make sure it has proper call to actions throughout the website, mobile friendly, all that stuff, right? I'm not going to get too nitty gritty into the technicals. There's a couple things I want to highlight, but those videos, those images, they're going to tell the story of your website. All right. And then through all of it, give it time. Okay. Give it time. Then you can go through the analytics. Again, we're not going to bore you with that stuff, but if you can communicate to your ideal customer through the content, which most people aren't going to read, but through images and video and through the design, then you're going to convert. You're going to convert. So it's as simple as that on the website side. Google Business Profile, kind of the same thing, right? You want to stay active with posting. Even if you have a company posting, go ahead and put your own unique posts in, your more natural posts, right? From your specific point of view. No one's going to do it like you can. Nobody's going to do it. Make them raw, make them the real, put video, put pictures, just update it how you will. Obviously talk with whoever you're working with to make sure you guys are on the same page. But, if you see a competitor posting twice a day, match it, put twice a day, maybe do 3 times a day, see what that does, right? There's no right or wrong when it comes to marketing. There's just what works and what works for you. So there's going to be times where you're going to test things and it's going to work, and test things and it's not going to work. All right. But the Google Business Profile, keep it up to date, just like your website. And most important, I think, from a business owner's perspective, get Google reviews. Get as many as you can, not just Google, but Facebook and whatever other platforms are out there. Get as many reviews as you can and respond to them. Respond to them professionally, especially if it's a negative review. Respond to them professionally. Tell your side. Okay. But be professional. So responding to those reviews, getting those reviews and consistently getting them is going to feed positive signals, not just to Google, right? But to your potential customers. They're going to see, oh my gosh, this guy's got 300 reviews. It's a no-brainer, right? Because up against the map pack, you got someone with 300, someone with 100, someone with 50. You're going to go with the 300, right? So reviews are so important. Upload high quality photos and videos. We talked about that. Keep obviously your information accurate. If your hours change, make sure you update that as well. If anyone's asking questions on your profile. Make sure you answer them professionally as well. Give as much information as you can. Put offers out there. If you've got holiday offers, gift cards, whatever it might be, put that stuff out there. People, again, buy from people. They want to know what's new. They want to know what's exciting. They want to know what's going on. Give them that. All right. And that's another platform other than your website, other than your social media, where you can feed that information. All right. And then, we kind of moved down. Now we got past the website and the Google business profile. Maybe we get some organic leads coming in. We need to be ready for that. So what do? We make sure we have a solid foundational CRM system where we can track all this information. I can't tell you how many calls I get on, and I'm like, oh, you're running Google ads, or oh, you got your website, you're getting leads in. Cool. How many website leads did you get last month? How many Google leads? How many Facebook leads? How many phone calls? They're like, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm guessing if you don't know that, you don't know how many you closed per each source. I don't know. We did pretty well last month, right? And this is where we kind of get into the argument of grow and scale. You could grow. I could grow with my eyes closed. You want to start to scale. You want to start to become profitable. You want to get away from those cash flow issues. You need to know this stuff. All right. So having a CRM system that you track is going to help. All right. You got to make sure, if you see you have 20 website leads and you got 20 Google leads, you better know you closed 10 of the website leads and 5 of the Google leads. Right. And that way you can track ROI. You can track, okay, this is what's working. These are where these leads came from. We can, optimize this. We can turn this off. It's an that's a good, ever changing and ever going cycle. That's a cycle you want to be a part of. You don't want to be a part of the set it and forget it. It's working, it's not. It's working, it's not. Because I'll be honest with you, when it comes to Google, especially with the website and SEO and ads, it's constantly going to change. But there's one thing that you can control, and it's those leads coming in, and it's your foundational CRM system. So I don't care what system it is, just know your numbers. All right. So kind of now talking about leads, you need to be able to follow up with them, right? You need to be able to nurture them. And if you can get those foundational pieces that we talked about with the website and Google business profile and your brand, and get your voice out there and consistently update video and images, that becomes so much easier because they're probably further down the funnel by the time they get to you. Not everyone will be. And some people won't know you yet. You have to work hard at those, right? Some people might not like you yet or trust you yet. You got to work hard on those, right? But you should be able to piece together where they're at in the journey and then provide them more value to close. All right. And without having that snapshot, that picture of where they're at in the journey in a CRM, it's almost impossible, right? Again, you're going to go into that cycle of good, bad, good, bad. We want to get away from that. Okay. So make sure you're following up. I just read something earlier today where it was like 3% of people, and I'd probably argue that less than 3% of people are ready to buy right now, especially when it comes to service-based businesses or products that you don't need. If you need something, if it's an emergency service, things like that, that number's probably going to go up, right? But if it's a service that you don't need, that number's probably 3% or less. So what's up with the 97+%, right? You got to work your butt off for those. And that's honestly where the money is. Do you want to target just the 3%? No, you want to target that 97% as well. It's just a different process. So you have to be ready for it. All right. And that's where, knowing your numbers and tracking which source they're coming from, where they're at in the journey, then knowing that allows you to then tailor your messaging, right? We had a customer recently starting Black Friday. We started launching these mass SMS campaigns and email campaigns out. And we did it just for the leads that were like active over the last 6 months. So if you came in 6 months or, within 6 months, we sent you a message. And the first round of messaging that went out, like Black Friday, I think they did like $90,000 in work. And then I think we did a follow-up to get another like 30 or 40. And we did a Christmas special and a New Year special and got another, I think 80 is what they just said recently. So they booked a ton just off of retargeting. And that's, I would say, like, I don't want to say the lazy way to do it. It's smart because you're reactivating and you're not wasting. But you got to realize too, like, that, again, I said 6 months, right? So there were people from 6 months ago that finally came back around, right? So you could do it that way, or you can do it more consistently. And if I'm being honest, they do have consistent marketing going out as far as email and text. So, it's really a perfect storm that they have going on. And that just kind of, shows that you just need to be consistent. You need to be consistent with it. And it's possible, right? But it takes time. It takes time. So kind of went off on a tangent there, but it's important to track. It's important to track so that way when you send out your messaging, you can tailor it to maybe a specific source or specific point in their journey is what I'm saying. So you don't have to do this manual all the time. You can automate it too. I mean, come on, we're in the AI age now. Like you can automate a lot of different things. So things that are repeatable, automate them, please. But I'm going to say this: do not just rely on automation. Don't do it, right? Don't do it. It's like just putting content out there that doesn't speak from your point of view, your brand voice. It's like putting stock images out there. Like it's not telling a story, right? So you have to butt in, do personal text. Hey, this is Johnny. Sorry I missed you yesterday. Make it personal. I had to drop my kid off at school, whatever it is. And most people have kids, right? Make it personal. All right. So don't just rely on the automations. I think too, we're on the topic of, the CRM. It's going to help. It's going to help with your efficiency overall in your entire business. So don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. You're going to be able to not only nurture your leads, you're going to be able to understand this is working. This isn't. My team's really happy actually that we're doing these types of jobs. We're more profitable with these types of jobs. And right, you're going to be able to utilize this information across your entire business. I'm going to take a drink really quick. Topo Chico, by the way, it's the best. I hope, honestly, if we're just kind of talking raw and real here, that the tariff situation, right? Not to get into politics, but doesn't mess with my Topo Chico because I need it in my life. I don't know about you guys. If you haven't had it, give it a try. So this is not a sponsored ad. All right. So as we go down, I think to aid, again, we talked about in the website, we talked about in the GVP, we talked a little bit about in the CRM, I think, or we're about to, video creation. This is all, again, kind of slowing down for a second. These are all things that you as a business owner should be doing or can be doing to maximize all of these different aspects of your marketing, right? Now, video content creation, people think, oh, well, I'll just post a video on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook. Well, those videos should be on your website. They should be in your follow-up. They should be in your proposals, right? You guys want to separate yourselves from every Joe Schmo out there that offers the same thing. This is how you do it, right? If Johnny has a Corvette, right, and he wants to get window tint, right, or whatever the situation is, you need to send them a video of a Corvette that is window tinted if you have one. Right, and go, oh yeah, we just finished Frank's Corvette. We tinted the whole thing. It looks amazing. Whatever the scenario is, if you can relate, you can match that, you can showcase that. It's a no-brainer. We'll talk probably a little bit later about testimonials too. But if we want to just skip to that now, getting video testimonials even, that's huge. So people hearing from people all of a sudden, no like trust, boom, done, closed. Guys, it's that easy, but you have to go that extra step. You just have to go to the extra step and just ask that customer, hey, did you love the work? Great. Would you mind leaving me a video review just for 30 seconds, 20 seconds? All right. You guys have to go that extra step. Video is so important to share the story, again, through all your platforms, through your website, through your follow-up. It's going to tell a story. People are going to be able to see it. They don't have to read it. Come on, guys, we're lazy. We just want to scroll on our phone and see things. We don't want to read. All right. So tell people through storytelling and use your customers to do it. All right. So I don't want to go on a tangent too much, but video should 100% be used through your follow-up, right? In every aspect. But with that video, again, I can't urge enough to tell a story. Don't just show a video of the final product, right? Tell a story throughout that so that people can relate to. And you can hit some pain points maybe, and that'll be helpful in them getting to that final buying decision. All right, you don't have to even do a million of them. Do one big one and then cut it down, and then you can start to use shorts and stories and reels, right? So repurpose it across all platforms, and please please, I'm asking, turn your phone, your video sideways, right? Do longer form and do horizontal landscape, right? Don't do up and down vertical all the time, because you're going to be able to use it in a lot more places, right? You can cut horizontal down to vertical. It's very difficult to go vertical to horizontal. All right, please, there's a joke the other day, or there's a hat or something. It was like, make, video, I think he said horizontal again, or landscape again. All right, so make sure you're doing that. And it's not just, holding the phone up and down all the time, because it's only going to speak to a specific audience. All right. Also, someone asked me the other day, do I have to talk in it? I'm uncomfortable on video. Find someone who's comfortable on video if you're not, or just do you talking over the video. All right. But there's going to be times where people don't, like I lay in bed and I'll scroll and my sound's down because my wife's sleeping, right? Something like that. Do different variations of your video. This is, again, where the only thing I think that holds true is that consistency will win, right? And you can test all the different variations. Don't let someone tell you this is the only way to do it, because your videos are going to speak to different audiences. So all you have to do is stay consistent with it, and you'll fail, and then you'll figure out what works best for you and your customers, obviously. All right. And that's where you can kind of measure and figure out, again, what's working, what's not. So talked about website, talked about CRM, we talked about Google business, we talked about video. This is going to be a long video, I think. There's a lot of good, juicy stuff in here. All right. Now I want to talk a little bit about SEO. I know people are like, oh my gosh, people call it CEO. People don't know what SEO is. So I'm not gonna go crazy, not gonna bore you. But what can you do as a business owner to help in the SEO efforts? I think there's really just kind of two main things. Keep, if you're not doing it, if you're working with a marketing company, or even if you're doing it, just constantly keep people updated about what's new and exciting. Keep people updated on the work that you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with. Maybe you're going to a trade show or different events. Please share that. You can do press releases about that. You can do blogs about that stuff. Just keep content fresh. So it's not just video and images, it's actual content that you put on the site via like blogs, like I said, and press releases. That's really it. Just keep things fresh. Keep things fresh. Again, I'm not going to go crazy into detail with SEO, but if you can provide updated content and news, maybe add new services and, showcase reviews. I think the most underutilized platform is probably YouTube. So if you can get that at least up to date, that's going to aid in that SEO process. And then everything else that we talked about with the Google business profile, the reviews, social media, that's going to go hand in hand. And cross post too. Cross post your blogs to your social media, right? Your videos throughout. Share the exciting news across all your platforms, your website, your Google, your social media. So I think kind of on the topic of social media, and I think I might have talked about, we talked about this in one of the last videos, was kind of how we grew through organic social media. I'm going to go out and say on a limb here, and it's probably not really on a limb, it's what I 100% believe. You can grow your business organically to, this might be conservative, $250,000 a year with no ads. I believe it's probably closer to 500,000. On average, you can probably grow it without ads if you're consistent and you do it correctly. Now, how do I do that possibly on organic, social media? Well, stop using just your business page. Use your personal page. I'll say it again, like I said earlier. People buy from people. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? You've heard me say that probably. So on your personal page, please don't post pictures of you going to the bar, right? If you own a business, you have to be professional. You have to be professional. All right. Save that for your friends on Snapchat. All right. So keep it professional on your personal profile so that people can see that you're serious. Shout from the rooftops. We did an episode on that, shouting from the rooftops. Like, tell people what you do. Share your success stories. Share your failures. Share your mission. Okay. Share these things through your personal brand. All right. And that's going to help greatly. You're going to get a lot of work just from that. Keep your business profile page, active as well. But your personal brand is really where you can shed light on that story that you have, why you started, the failures of hiring and firing and just trying to grow, right? People relate to people. People relate to struggles. People relate to real. So don't Don't just skip the personal page. Don't skip it. All right. They can go hand in hand, with your business page. All right. Here's one that most people miss out on. Okay. Number one, and this goes for anything, consistency. You have to be consistent. You cannot try something for 30 days, 60 days, sometimes even 90 days and go, oh, it didn't work. Sometimes I would argue that if it's a certain strategy, you better try it for at least 6 months to a year before you decide to switch. Okay? Because I promise you, you do something for 6 months to a year and you do it effectively and optimize along the way, it's going to work out for you. It's going to work out for you. All right. So one thing that most people do is they just post and they don't engage. You need to engage with people. So if people comment on your post, comment back, go to their profiles, go to your ideal customers and comment on their stuff. Because what happens, right? What happens when someone sees a comment from someone and that they don't maybe know or haven't seen in a while? They're going to check them out. They're going to go, oh yeah, he owns so-and-so business. I got to hit him up. I need that. Or I know a friend who needs that. Right now you start the snowball effect. Stay consistent, posting, engaging, going to groups, all right, communities, all that stuff. Okay. Don't spam. Don't just promote. Get involved. Talk to people. Actually have a real conversation. And I promise you, whatever business or product or service you're offering, it'll come out. It'll come out. So I think through it all, we can talk about all the technicals. We can talk about all the nitty gritty, all these platforms, utilizing YouTube and not just Facebook and Instagram or TikTok. Don't know if it's going to be banned or not, but you have to be consistent. You just have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, I'll be the first one to say there's times where I'm not consistent and I see the effects. But when I am consistent, I'm like, man, this is working. When we grew our business all organic and then I kind of stopped. Now I'm like, well, why did I ever do that? Right? You just have to stay consistent. So again, we talked about engaging, not just posting, consistency, and just measure your efforts. But with all the algorithm changes and everything, it might be tough. And that's where the consistency kind of comes back into play. So now we move on. To ads, right? Now we move on to ads. I actually have to see, how long have we been going here? It's almost 30 minutes. We're rocking and rolling. Now we move on to ads though, right? So we have all these foundational pieces. You got your website, your Google business profile all taken care of. You got to make sure you have that CRM set. You got your organic flowing, you're engaging, you're active, again, consistent. Now we can start to think about ads. Again, I'll argue, 250, 500,000 a year, you can do organically. If you got more money than time, and some people have more time than money, some people have more money than time, sure, invest into ads. Again, I'll tell you, you got to be consistent. You got to give it time. Don't be that guy that's like that starts ads or hires an ad company, and then 2 weeks in, you're like, where are we at? I want better results. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay, you have to be consistent. You have to be patient. All right. Unfortunately, ads is just one of those pieces of the puzzle that is going to go up and down, just like SEO. But it makes it a lot easier to deal with when you have all these other pieces going and they're consistent, right? So one of the biggest examples I can give you is a company we worked with for over a year. It was a little bit over a year, it was like 13 months, just SEO, ground up, started with like 15 web submissions he was getting, I think maybe even less than that. And then by the end of the year, I think it was like 94 or something like that, right? Monthly, right? So he got all the way up to about, I probably averaged the last couple of months anywhere from like 60 to 90. So just SEO. And then we were like, all right, let's start ads. And, that's the ideal way to do it. Lots of video content was created. Lots of education was created. And then we started ads and they're killing it. So listen, I'm not going to sit here and say, don't try ads unless you're doing a certain amount. Everyone's different. Everybody is different. One thing I'm going to say is consistency, patience. All right. Consistency, patience, and just know that if you jump into ads without the foundational pieces, you're going to start to get into that cycle of it's working, it's not, it's working, it's not. You're going to get frustrated. So you can be patient about it. It could work out for you. All right. But getting into ads, we talk about like Facebook ads or Instagram or social media in general ads. You want to think about the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? And the different phases that people are in their buying journey. All right. Your content needs to speak to each aspect of the funnel, right? So your top of funnel, right, is going to be kind of your story, like why you started the business, right? And highlight your team, your workspace, your day-to-day operations. What are these services that you offer? Things like that, mix of photos and video. Again, horizontal and vertical, not just vertical. All right, I'll say that till I die. Make video horizontal again. And then you got your middle of funnel. All right, this is a little bit deeper. Engagement begins to build that trust with people, right? People that are already familiar with your brand. Maybe you have some customer success stories, some testimonials in here. You start highlighting the benefits of the services or products that you offer, and that's going to get you further down that funnel there, right? And then you get the bottom people that, this is that last effort. They're like ready to go. You just need to push them over the edge. So maybe you have an offer for them. Maybe it's 10% off. Maybe it's value added. So you add on a service with it, things like that. Maybe this is retargeting. Maybe this is people who visited your website or your Google business profile or a landing page in the past, and you're not retargeting them, right? This is where the bottom of funnel is. And if you can hit people on each stage, right? And I probably said consistency 16,000 times in this video, but be consistent about it. Your funnel will always attract new people, and it will always reactivate old people, and you will always have a lead flow. Okay. So that's what you're after. And then you want to balance brand awareness too. Like you want campaigns that just kind of show who you are and share your story, and they're not necessarily lead gen related, but they kind of springboard towards all your resources online, whether it's your YouTube or your other social media accounts or your website or anything like that. You need those branded ads too, those signals, right? And again, without being said, really, it should be high quality video and images. Make sure there's the clean background, all that stuff. It doesn't have to be professional. Like you don't have to go and pay, thousands of dollars. It can be from your iPhone, but just make sure it's up to a certain standard, that you would want people to see your business as, right? And then kind of talk about Google ads. You want to maximize your reach. You want to maximize your conversions. Too many times I see people, going after just max clicks and just wasting so much money. Google should be chasing conversions. You want to chase the conversions. You want to chase the people that are just about ready to buy, right? And that's hard to do. It's hard to do, but don't just get desperate and open your wallet up to Google, because they'll take your money. I promise you, they will take your money. So that's something that has to really be refined. And again, you can start to see after hearing everything we talked about, that's a small piece of the puzzle. It's a small piece of the puzzle. So when you look at everything, you bring it all together, you see, okay, maybe Google's 20%, maybe Facebook's 10%, maybe websites 40%, maybe referrals are 20%, and so on. And you kind of piece it all together. And if all of these pieces are working, if one stops working, guess what? You just refine, but everything else is working, and it's good for you. You jump right into one thing, it's going to cause that cycle that I talked about, the good, the bad, good, bad, good, bad. And it's going to be so frustrating. And this is why businesses come in and they leave, right? Because they never fix the cycle. They never fix it. Going into one thing and one thing only, just putting a Band-Aid on, it's going to rip open. All right. And then you're going to have to keep putting it back on and ripping it off and so on. So probably a terrible analogy, but that's what I have for you. So again, I'm not going to go crazy into strategies or anything like that. In the guide, we go a little deeper. But I'm not going to go crazy into that right now. We can talk about, integrating landing pages and all the different strategies there. But I think really, truly the biggest thing that we want to talk about here is just consistency and maximizing effort in each aspect. So like I said, the guide will really get into what you need to focus on to aid in every aspect of your marketing. And I think one thing that really brings it all together, this is kind of the final thought here, is the lead nurturing, which we already kind of talked about. And I have a video on kind of like my favorite follow-up, right? You guys have heard, if you haven't, go watch the follow-up video or my lead generation video. I talk about follow-up in there and kind of how I would do it. So I think the biggest thing when it comes to follow-up. And this kind of goes along with the 3% ready to buy and the 97% not ready. They're completely different leads. You can't follow up with them the same, right? So if you have all the pieces we just talked about, but then you don't have this one done, you're still not going to win. So you need to make sure that your follow-up is being refined constantly and that you're being human. Don't just rely on AI. I know you got all these AI voice bots and these AI conversation bots, and I'm not against them. Test them, right? But don't rely on them. Don't rely on them. Biggest mistake is to rely on it and not be human. And you leave so much money on the table, I can guarantee it. I might eat my own words here in a year or 2 or 6 months. Who knows how fast AI is growing? But I'm a believer right now as a human being talking to another human being. All right, so don't just rely on AI. But if you can get that lead nurturing solid, okay, and speak to that 97%, and be human, create connection, you'll start to see everything pay off. You'll start to see it all pay off. So hopefully I didn't bore you guys. I know we talked about a lot of different things, but I just wanted to reiterate the consistency, right? The consistency of it all. When you do marketing, when you hire a company, when you're trying to grow your business, you have to be consistent and you got to become something more than you are. All right. What worked to get you here won't get you here. What worked to get you here will not get you here. So you can't keep doing the same thing over and over. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. You have to become more. You have to do more. All right. And that goes with marketing. You can't just hire someone and go, oh, well, my job's done. No, it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder. And if you don't have the pieces of the puzzle together, if you don't have the foundational pieces, especially, it's going to be really hard. And it's going to show where you have holes, where you have gaps. And this guide, these pieces will fill it. So if you put in the work. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm excited to be back with you guys in 2025. As always, if you have questions, comments, drop them below, and I'll see you next time.